Good afternoon, good Monday morning, everybody. Hello, welcome along to your afternoon rabble here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast and the Rangers Rabble Network as well. Quick question to fling out to all the early people tuning in to watch. Where do you stand on home DIY? Whether it be painting, whether it be putting wallpaper up, whether it be sanding curtains and glossing, whether it be putting carpet down, whether it be putting shelves up. Where do you stand on doing your own home DIY with the caveat of you're absolutely dreadful at it? I've got to add that in. You're absolutely just mince at it, right? So where do you stand on doing it? That's the question of the day, I should say. But I am joined by Trev. Trev, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Martin. I'm glad you made it clear what you meant by DIY there, because I thought it was more that shenanigans than anything else. So I'm glad you gave us some examples. Cheers for that. I was doing some of that last night, actually. I mean, the work with the drilling and the hammering and the stuff just before anyone makes any jokes. I'm shit at it. I don't like it, but I'm trying to actually man up and grow a set and actually learn to do some things. But yeah,
I'm dreadful at it, Trev. I'm terrible at painting. I'm terrible at painting. My mom has to come here and give me a horn with the painting because I'm just dreadful at it. And
that's
then,
embarrassing.
But see, the thing is though, I'll give it a go and I'll try, and then I'll have my mom on this side and my missus on this side telling me how dreadful I am at it. So what's the point?
Handyman, how the F am I meant to answer that one? Don't know, ask multiple, man.
Aye, the same person.
I don't like it, Martin.
Hold on, Trev, hold on. We've to pause the show for 2 minutes while JD makes a cup.
Right, go.
Right, cool.
I'm bored now, Martin. Is he back?
I'm bored as well. I'm bored as well. Tough. It's absolutely tough.
Make me a cup of tea and it's all right.
Yes. Well, Scott's clearly a sadomasochist. He loves painting.
I can understand that, mate. I don't
understand that at all. Understand that at all. We are the people breaking news. Morelos spotted at Glasgow Airport. Could you imagine if that was the case?
No.
Could you absolutely imagine?
That's so funny.
Oh man. Oh God. Anyway. Let's talk some Rangers, Trev, shall we? I mean, I don't know if this is actually a conversation on its own, but very quiet weekend. I know Rangers played a behind closed door friendly, and we'll get to that in a wee second and stuff. Very quiet on the old Rangers front now, Trev, isn't it?
It is, and I'm still no panicking like Ross this morning. I'm no concerned, and maybe that's.
Should we be concerned? That is the question. Should we be concerned, or should we just be calm down? Calm down. It's going to happen. Calm it.
Well, quite a few of us are not concerned, so there must be something to it. I think it's because we know that we've got owners that know what they're doing. We've got a manager. Okay, a lot of us didn't want him, but the owners really wanted him. So I've got faith in that whole process, and he has done some good things before, old Russell. So I think it's just a case of getting a lot of irons in the fire and just putting them all out at the same time. I think we will. I think we might hear something by the end of the week, stroke next week. I think people were saying like 1st of July onwards, because the money gets put in at the end of the year, end of the month. So, am I being a bit silly? Being slightly. Is anyone in the chat concerned? Like, that's what I want to know, because must be somebody.
I mean, I think there's plenty of people who are concerned, but my thought process throughout the whole thing that's going on now is I've listened to the new owners, right? I don't know what's going on with my hair, by the way, right? Do you know what?
Hair gel.
No, it's not hair gel. It probably should be. Hair's getting left like that. Don't like it. I don't care. There's a lot of people who are concerned, right? But I'm looking at the new owners and I'm listening to them talk, Trev, and I'm thinking to myself, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm pretty sure there's more than one or two people in the comments, right, who would be quite happy to throw this back in my face if it all goes tits up, right? But I listen to the new owners, Trev. I listen to the way they talk. I listen to how kind of calm they are when they're dealing with business. I look at the 49ers, I look at Leeds, and I hope I don't regret saying this. I feel safe, Trev. I genuinely, for the first time in a long time, with the running of the football club, with the football department, and it might just be me just trying to be glass half full, but Trev, I feel safe with these guys.
I've got that big warm embracing Rangers hug and all. It's as if Kavanagh just came over and gave me a big cuddle and said, "It'll be all right, son. Don't worry, we've got a plan." Never to be seen again because he's stuck up the loft. No, I'm joking. No, I think, see if these guys hadn't taken care of Leeds the way they did, we maybe be saying, wait a minute, all right, okay, you run a massive franchise, a sporting franchise in the States, great. I mean, that counts for something, but do you know what it takes to run a football club? No, you don't know really, but they've already done that. So they've ticked pretty much every box. I don't know what other boxes you can tick really to say you're all right, you're cushy, you're fine. So that's why I feel safe. That's why I'm not concerned about lack of signings so far. We've got a plan. I bet you that Puku guy, whatever his name is, that went to the Wee Rangers. He's I mean, to hell with him, to be honest, that's a separate matter. To hell with the other Rangers, but he's missing out, and I think the board have went, right, okay, he's potentially wanting too much money. We've got a wage structure, we've got things in place, we're sticking to it. They probably missed out on a couple of targets, Martin, I think, because people have asked too much or they've been too demanding. And I'm glad we're not budging. We shouldn't budge ever, ever, ever for any player, no matter how good they are, in my opinion. So let's keep the heat, Bears. That'll be fine.
And do you know what? I've seen a lot of people being quite negative on the old Poku for signing for QPR, right? And look, fair enough. We want a player. He doesn't eventually choose us. There's going to be a bit of, all right, well, get it up you. And that's absolutely fair. What I would say is that I think we forget, because we're so close to England, right? All we see it as, he only has to move from Peterborough to Glasgow. What's the big deal, right? For some players, they just simply don't want to move to Scotland, right? Regardless of how big an opportunity is playing for Rangers or playing in Europe or winning cups or winning trophies, they probably feel safe. And people forget QPR, whereas they are a big name in England of years gone by. They're not going to be winning trophies, or they're probably going to be flirting with relegation or mid-table in the Championship or whatever. That's just the kind of club that they are. But they're in London. And so many players, especially from England, want to move and live in London. And Peterborough, I think, is in London, isn't it? Peterborough, I think. Or it's close to it, if my geography's correct.
Closer to the south. I thought it was closer to the coast, the south coast.
I drove coaches
Somebody
for
Google it.
15 years, 16 years. I probably should know where Peterborough is. But anyway, I don't blame the young lad for wanting to stay down south and probably pick up a fairly decent wage and live in London and associate, and maybe he feels that if he does well at QPR, he could maybe get a move to the Premiership easier. I don't know what the script is with him, right? But however, QPR try to come out and take the piss, Trev. Sorry, QPR, who are you?
QPR.
Trev, we've been put down to the bottom of Scottish football, right? For whatever reasons, we're not going into them, right? But we've been put down to the bottom of Scottish football, right? Had to work our way back up to the top league. A top league, by the way, that is probably comparable to League One in England, if that, with the rest of the teams in Rangers and Celtic, right? And we've been to a European final and we've got deep in Europe on many seasons. I'm sorry, who are QPR?
QPR are shite, Martin. Let's not beat around the bush. They're shite. They're just because they have Rangers in the name, we should be getting royalties or something for that, by the way. There's only one Rangers. It's all about the Rangers. It's us. Get it right, run you, QPR. I bit of banter and with jest and that. Like that's I don't mind that, and I don't blame Poco for. And what is it with his name, man? He sounds like a fucking Pokemon or something. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah,
Poco. I think he mostly went to them for the money. There could be a wee part he doesn't want to move to Scotland, I get that, but the main reason is money, clearly, because what are they going to win? Absolutely hee-haw. Maybe they'll get promotion to the Championship, maybe, but they'll win hee-haw, so he's clearly signed for the money. And it went down to 2 clubs, apparently. I don't know if we were one of them or it was another club that could afford him, that wanted him, and that's why we went, we're not getting him anymore, or he chose QPR, so aye, not for me, mate. They can get it right around them.
But on to somebody who it seems as though they could possibly be coming to the football club pretty soon. Connor Coady, Jermaine Defoe doing the old tapping up. Somebody put it in our WhatsApp group that it's so good to see Jermaine Defoe when he speaks about Rangers say we instead of them or Rangers or whatever. It just shows that he's still part of the fabric of the football club. He still loves the club. He still keeps a check on things. A couple of wee things Defoe came out with. You know, Coady knows how big the club is. He knows what the atmosphere's like. He knows this. He knows that. And it seems to be a deal, I think, as time goes on, Trev. I think more and more fans are starting to go, oh, do you know what? He would be an excellent signing for us.
Oh, it would be. He would be. I'm looking forward to him because he's only 32. He could easily sign a 3-year contract or something and actually be grand for us. I think he's still doing the old Club World Cup stuff, isn't he? If that season's still going. So he'll be busy and then he'll want to get a bit of pre-season in. So if we don't announce him for a bit, don't be surprised. But we want him. Martin wants him. Leicester are willing to let him go. He's got a glowing recommendation from Defoe. What's there to say no to? There isn't a problem. You just need to be patient with him. You need a good general like him, though, don't you? You really need a good general like him in the spine of your team. I mean, there's several players that rate him highly that we know of, or ex-players, Martin being one of them. So bring it on. And Defoe saying what he said. It was Ian Dougal that said that in the chat, actually. And I was thinking the exact same thing. Dougal, by the way, I was thinking the exact same thing when you put that comment. And when players say we, depending on who it is, it gives you a kind of warm, fuzzy feeling inside. You're like, he knows, he gets it. He was only at us for a couple of years, but he got it. So I think people like Coady listen to folk like Jermaine Defoe, Martin. They really do. So that carries. I think he'd probably say I without him, but I think he's nailed on now to come because he's heard from such a brilliant player in Jermaine Defoe.
Oh,
I don't tell him anymore. It's too funny.
It's just, thank God it comes up at the top of the screen. Your mic's muted when you start talking, otherwise I'd be away.
Yeah, beep.
Yeah, Frankie talks. Any idea who we signed yesterday? I don't know if we actually signed anybody yesterday, but there was an agent, Trev, kicking about Ibrox, putting pictures up, which I'm not 100% sure Rangers would be too happy with him doing that. But however, apparently it was young Zebedee Lawson, the young 16-year-old at Brighton. And I think William Irwin is on. Let me just check. He's on Wednesday.
Right.
So we'll find out a little bit more about him. But this young kid, Trev, is, I mean, I'm going to say it, is a young Lionel Messi, this boy. He's going to come to Rangers and within 2 years, he's going to be in the first team, Trev, scoring hat-tricks for fun, and we're going to sell him for 50 million. There we go. I've just ruined it. But in all seriousness, he is one of the most highly rated youngsters down south. I've seen a few clips of him. He looks like a cracking young player. I just hope that if we do sign him, because I haven't seen it confirmed anywhere, if we do sign him, that he's not another youngster that we bring, throw in the under-19s and forget about.
That's my fear, though. No matter what manager it's been over the last several years, youngsters have either not been good enough and or just not given enough time to try and shine. I don't see what's going to change. I hope. And the reason I make that comment, I don't see what changes, is because we've hired other Rangers managers in the past go, if a youngster's good enough, we'll play them. Age is just a number, and yet nobody ever gets a game or hardly ever gets a consistent run of games. the gaffer says he's going to give youngsters a chance, up with the same caveat if they're good enough and all that. But okay, get youngsters in that are better than, because I haven't been impressed with the youngsters we've had in recently. I'm not overly impressed with folk like Bailey Rice. I think we got the wrong of the two from Motherwell. I think you agree with that as well, Martin. I just don't think we really have that great of a youngster. Like, I'm talking about Rangers' quality of youngster. Like, a lot of these youngsters go to any other team outside the Old Firm teams and do well. They're more than good enough for that, but they're not good enough for our level. So
Can I
fingers crossed,
kick
mate.
back on that? Can I kick back on that a wee bit and just?
Sure.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree, but the question I would put to you is: can we fairly judge the young players who are coming through at Rangers? Because we don't really know. As a support, I suppose, unless you're like a fan of another team, right? And I don't understand the whole being a fan of two different football teams, right? But if you're a fan of an English team or a Spanish team or whatever, and you consistently see young players being brought through, right? I don't know really how to describe this properly, but as a Rangers support, right? And I'm talking about people like myself and you, Trev, right? Who basically only focus on Rangers. We don't really know how to properly bring through young players, do we? I mean, I don't know the way that Barcelona do it, or the way that Ajax do it, or the way that, I don't know, Arsenal or Chelsea or Man U or whoever. Are they allowed to come in and not look great and make mistakes, but they're continuously played because you can see potential and then they become good players? Or do they have to come in and show something right away, or they're just simply not good enough? I just don't think as a support we're really aware of how to properly watch a young player come into the team, develop and make it, because Rangers have never really allowed it.
There's some truth to that, Martin. We are a different breed, of course, from a lot of other clubs, and it's the high demands all the time. You could argue that these boys do need more time to see the potential, but I'll give you an example. The last true great youngster we had coming through our team, like great youngster, for me, in my opinion, was Barry Ferguson. And he hit it. He hit the ground running immediately. He didn't need 10, 20, 30 games to actually start smashing it out the park. He was really good pretty early on.
Did he initially? I can't remember. I was quite young and I remember
Can
Barry.
vaguely.
But was Barry excellent for Daydot in that Rangers team?
Daydot. I like that.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. He was, I think, from my memory, which is, understandably not phenomenal, but I do remember him being better at the start. And also as well, what helped him, to be fair, if we're putting a caveat in there, Advocat had obviously watched the team and the players and done what any good gaffer does before he comes in and does his homework. Like Russell Martin, bloody watched all the games since January, and the guy's known a loony bin, man. So that's a good sign. They've all done their homework and they've went, right, okay, Advocates went, these players are good potential. And I believe he said to Murray at the time, listen, I want him to be my captain. I want to put my team around him. I see something in him. And then when he started playing him, you saw the performances, mate. So I think it was a combination of getting a glowing recommendation for Advocate and actually being good enough from day one.
Quite possibly. And as Christchek saying, minutes at a good level at a young age is needed. We can't provide that to our youth. That's why they go elsewhere. And I completely
Look at
agree with
McGregor.
that.
McGregor's a perfect example. That's what has to happen, I think.
Yeah, completely agree. Right, Rangers played a bounce game, Trev, at Auchenhowie against TNS and lost 1-0. Right. Now, I have seen the reaction. I have seen the reaction from some to this game, right? And I mean, I probably should have had this up already, right? So I do apologise. The starting 11 in that game, right, was Liam Kelly, James Tavernier, Robin Proper, Clinton Nziala, Jeffy, Bailey Rice, Kieran Dill, Finlay Curtis, Callum Burnside, Robbie Fraser, and Danilo. So you could probably argue, right, that Liam Kelly, Tav, Proper, Jeffy, and Nziala, if you're going by last season, could be classed as first team players, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've then got Bailey Rice, who was he's been in and around the first team. You would like to hope that this season he does kick on and get a lot more minutes. And then Kieran Dill, not really played. Finlay Curtis, not really played. Callum Burnside, B team player. Robbie Fraser, this is his season to either prove that he's good enough to be in this Rangers team or he moves on. And Danilo, who basically played absolutely no minutes last season. And the subs bench was Jack Butland, Leon King, Max Aarons, Xander Hutton, Aidan McCallion, Callum Adamson, Paul Seal, Ross McCausland, Oscar Cortez, and Josh Gentles. Josh Gentles, by the way, keep your eyes peeled if we work with that young boy properly. I think that's a real talent there. I don't know massive amounts about the B team, but I've watched Josh play several times, and he's a cracking young player already, I believe. I don't think he's played for the Welsh team yet, but I think he might have played for the under-19s or whatever. But again, I'll speak to William about that and we'll get it. But anyway, my point being, Trev, as I elongate my question to you, is it's not a first team. It's not a team that you will never see that starting 11, right, ever again, in a Rangers team, right? It was never about the result. It was about patterns of play. It was about trying to get the players to work together. And some of the reactions, Trev, have been quite funny.
No, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. It'd be different if we'd been battered 3 or 4-0. That would be a different story altogether. It's about fitness. I'm more concerned about the Bruges game on Sunday, if it's a similar team, because I know I almost think the game coming up in Sunday would be a bit too early, Martin, because I think we're going to have next to no new players in to actually complement that team, plus people still coming back from injury and anyone that played for their country recently. So I think for me, I'm not concerned about the Welsh team. That's fine. I just hope that if we got another body in before the end of the week, that they could throw them into the team for the weekend, because it's about fitness, but I want to also be a wee bit entertained and see potential in it. Do you think the game is, I know you might get to that, so apologies. Do you think the game on Sunday is maybe coming a wee bit too early for a friendly, considering?
No. I want to see. I mean, as I feel like Two-Face out of Batman right now, right?
You're getting probed again, man. What's going on? You're getting beamed up.
Yes. But I want to see Rangers play. I want Rangers back now. It feels like it's been too long, and it's only been 4 weeks.
You go to the game?
It feels like it's been. If I can get the build up, watch along, and reaction covered, then yeah, I'll go to the game. But if not, then I need to work. So
that's why I didn't put my name down in that stuff, because I'm going to the game with Ash and our nephew. So
you know what? It feels really strange that my job, right, is to effectively watch and report on Rangers. Right, that's my job. But my job also doesn't allow me to go to Ibrox if I can't get shows covered. It's really strange.
It does. You could be back for the game after. You don't do it straight away. Reaction. You give it maybe 2 hours of time for you to get back, and then you could still do that, so someone can do the build up, and big Alex does the watch along. You know.
I'm not leaving Alex to do the watch along himself.
No, I know himself.
No,
true.
But no, listen, I don't think it's came too early. I think it's probably what Russell Martin wants, because he wants his team playing against other teams. He wants to. I don't think the results are going to necessarily mean that much. I mean, sometimes in a pre-season, like under Beale, we watched the pre-season under Beale and we went, oh no, something's not right here. Right? Mm-hmm. We all done it. And I think it was one of the first times that I've watched a pre-season and took from it how I think the season's going to go in terms of results and the way that the team played. But I think with Martin, it's going to be about, right, this is how we want to play. This is the way that I want you to play. Get all your mistakes out in pre-season. Yeah. Right? Get on the pitch, make your mistakes, but continue to play the way that I want you to play. So I don't think at all that that these friendlies at all are coming too early. I think Martin probably wants them. And that's probably why we played a bounce game against TNS.
Hi. Really quickly, Martin, London, BFG, if you ever played the game Doom, that means something else completely different, by the way. I'm more concerned, Martin, that I'm trying to think glass half full. I promise that we're trying to get the fitness in and out, as you say. That's absolutely fine. Try to get his philosophy across to the players. Let's not forget, unfortunately, at this stage, most of those players are still part of old regimes who didn't listen to several managers. So while it'll be fitness, it'll be about if they actually take his instructions and they listen to them. Or it might just be, the new bounce manager effect. So for a wee while, it'll be all right. This is why I'm hoping we do get some more bodies in at some point in the near future, because I don't think a lot of these players will listen to any manager after a little while. And I'm not going to pick out players for that. That was last season, bashing players, but fitness is the name of the game at the moment, mate. And as long as that's the priority this weekend, we see a wee bit entertaining football. Maybe give second chances to a couple of players that didn't do much before, like your Matondos, your Cervantes. He's him.
He's on his way back.
I know, and he'll hate it, but maybe he'll like working under Martin. Maybe we can just turn on the undersoil heating so that he's warm at all times, because that guy just does not like the cold, does he?
Well, I'm taken from what he's said in the past that must be it, because he did not want to come back to Scotland, but the clubs couldn't agree a deal, so he's on his way back.
He doesn't like it. You can tell, because he would wear gloves where other players that are from other parts of the world, from hotter bits of the planet than him, are cutting about, short sleeve, no gloves on. So he really didn't like the cold. But I mean, he's missed all our bloody best weather. Real taps off weather. Sophinis, what's wrong with you, mate? You missed the best time.
A super chat in from the superb member that we have, Gaz, who's a massive supporter of the channel. Thank you, Gaz. We need to get our finger out and bring players in, or we're going to be left in the lurch. I'm hearing that a lot, Trev, right? Yeah. But again, I'll go back to my previous answer on it, that until such times as they give me a reason not to, and I've said this in the past and it's come back to bite me straight on the left testicle, right? But until such times as they give me a reason not to.
You get sprayed for that, by the way.
So painful. So painful. I'm going to trust the board, Trev. I'm going to trust them.
Aye, me too. And maybe, maybe 6 months from now I might be beat myself up about that comment, but you have to be glass half full, especially when the people running the club, as I touched on at the start of the pod, are actually competent and know what they're doing. So I do have faith in them, and that's why it runs through everything they do, Martin. As I was saying before, it runs through their choice of gaffer. It runs through the choice of players, because they won't be picking the players. Like my understanding from the EGM was, here is so much money we're investing in the club, and then the manager and the hierarchy, CEO and whatnot, farewell, will actually decide how much of it goes on what players. I didn't even think the board would even get involved in that. So I've got confidence of it running all the way through the team and all the decisions they make. I'm a glass half full guy anyway. I know I come on, I'm moan, I complain, but I believe that we'll actually do the business and be competitive. I'm not saying we'll win the league, but I'm saying we'll be competitive, and that's all we're asking for, is a bare minimum.
Yes, and massive thank you to the Trying Scotsman, who has gifted a Rangers Rabble membership, which I believe has went to
London again.
No.
It's not run out yet.
I've banned London for getting gifted memberships, but it's went to Scotsman in Spain. So do enjoy all the content that we offer on our membership, Rabble Network, as it's called. And we're going to be pushing that a lot more as the new season starts. And if you want to help support the show by becoming a member and getting access to loads and loads of extra content, not just this, but including the Extreme Gaming podcast that is ran by your very own Trev, as always. You can also get watch-alongs to every game, the Tuesday night members show. You can get a Monday to Friday members phone in at 10 a.m. You can get that. You can get the random rabbles on the weekends. You can get the Sunday supplements as well. Plus, you get random pictures of me doing my house up, which I don't know if that appeals to anybody.
Thank God you said doing your house up, man. Only rabble.
Yes, only rabble. Yes. But yeah, I mean, Trev, we'll finish up there. But just before we do,
what about sponsorship from Wealth Marshall? What about the sponsorship idea from Wealth Marshall? I think sponsor many people, mate, and we're involved in football, run things. Just saying. If you whip out your razor.
If you become a co-owner tier member, then you get to have dinner with Wealth Marshall. every Friday night for the
no,
rest of your life.
I'm taking away my membership. No, I'm not doing it. No.
That was a
Only
joke.
joking, Will.
That was a joke. That was a
Only
joke.
joking, Will. Love you.
Stephen, there is several different tiers for membership. You have the Rabble Supporter is the $1.99 tier. That gets you watch alongs to every game. It gets you the Tuesday night show. It gets you the Sunday supplement when Rangers aren't playing on a Sunday. And it gets you the members phone in Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. As well. There's the CEO tier, which, offers a lot more. There's hundreds of shows. There's the EPL show. There's the Extreme Gaming. There's a Random Rabble on a Saturday. There's exclusive content before anybody else. There's all sorts of stuff. There's loads of stuff. So you just pick what tier suits you as well. And of course, we have Charles, who is raging that he hasn't fought me in the 2K25. Of course, you get Rabble Wrestling as well. Get it up, you Martin. Get it up, you Charles. You don't get that on any other Rangers podcast, Trev, do you? Get it up.
It comes from love, I think. And £10 as well. Thanks, Charles.
I think Charles might be slightly in love with me. I don't know if any of you can hear the barking, but that would appear that there's somebody at my door. We shall leave it there for Monday's afternoon Rabble. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in. Thank you for the super chats. Please do, if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, give it a like. The last time I checked, I believe it was 46 off of 14,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Ignore Lyndon in the comments. He's a very, very cynical man.
It's JD's comments that are concerning me.
Yeah. Just ignore JD. Stuff he puts in the Discord is absolutely disgusting. But folks, listen.
You got access to that if you pay money. If you want that.
But listen, folks, we are back on public YouTube tonight at 7:30. Is it? Oh, hold on.
Is it the bin man to come back again?
No. Sorry, that's something for this morning's morning phone in. If you're watching on public YouTube, you will not understand what that means. But folks, listen, join us at 7:30 tonight. And of course, in a few weeks, the women's show returns. And we might have some exciting news for people who enjoy that as well. Trev, as always, thank you very much.
Cheers.
See what I've done there?
What I've done? Well done. I'll get old soon, eventually. Yeah.
It will get old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you can phone in on the 10 o'clock show. Nobody laughs at you. Apart from Ross making up excuses as to why he can't phone.
Dogs could hear him down the street. He was getting a wee bit high pitched at one point. It was amusing.
It's getting quite high pitched, but he was getting quite high pitched. Yes. Right, folks, go and enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you join us at 7:30. Thank you so much for all the support, and we shall speak very, very soon.